Yo. Welcome back to another episode of hdsportspod podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Hewitt. Here with my guys, Chubbs and Smoog. This episode, we'll be talking about the biggest surprises and biggest disappointments thus far this NBA season. Talk about if LeBron or AD should request a trade. Was Nike and the Nets too harsh on Kyrie Irving? And also, can Donovan Mitchell win the MVP? Hey, man, before we go ahead and get started, I just want to thank everybody that listens to us each and every week. Also want to make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're on any of the audio services, make sure you guys go ahead and download the episode. But then again, appreciate everybody. Smoog and Chubbs, y'all got anything y'all want to say to the people before we get started?
No, it's not NBA related. But the Ravens on 3 wins, dub win streak. Let's keep it going. Ravens flock, let's fly.
JT MVP.
Not even the second best player in the East right now. So I don't know if that's possible for him to be.
Yeah, you see how he started with third and this is second. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely top 3.
Right now, he is playing top 3 in the East. That's without a doubt. I don't think that's a.
But you have like 3 players, a hell of players in the East. Like
no. I wasn't saying. You just say he's MVP, and I don't think he's top 2 in the East. So there's no way he can be MVP.
We only what 11, 12 games in. Let's see.
Almost 13 games for most teams. You saying you just said MVP? I'm just talking about right now,
he
man.
Dropped 39 like 2 nights ago.
He did. He definitely did.
Luka lost to the Magic. Cough.
You said who?
Luka lost to the Magic.
I know somebody finally stopped him from scoring 30 because he was missing. But let's go ahead and get into it, man. So I want to start off this podcast episode talking about our biggest surprises, whether that's a team, players. Who have been your biggest surprises so far this NBA season?
I'll go first. I'll give you a top 3. And when I go my last one, that's gonna be my biggest surprise, I guess. But I'm pretty surprised that like the Spurs and the Jazz are actually kind of competitive for the team that's supposed to be like rebuilding or gutted, you know what I mean? Like they're actually competing, playing good basketball. It's either a close game or they're getting a dub or, you know, they're not getting blown out, you know what I mean? So like, I'm pretty surprised about that, but my biggest surprise is the Trailblazers. I wasn't expecting them to be as good as they are right now. Dame's showing up. Dame's proven that, you know, he's a superstar in this league, even though people didn't believe he was. He's a superstar in this league. He's carrying this team. People didn't believe he could carry this team. I hope they keep this up because Dame has stuck with this team when people said he should leave. And now they're finally like looking pretty, you know, solid. So I don't know. That's my biggest surprise. My biggest disappointment, LA Lakers.
Wow, I mean, let's finish our surprises first, buddy.
My bad. Go
guys too high to talk about his disappointments, man.
Go to your surprise.
I like your names. I do think Dame is good, but I also just think the Trailblazers as a team in general, because Dame has missed a good amount of games as well, and they're still cooking. So I like some of the names. The Jazz are definitely, I think they're the biggest surprise so far as well. So, DL, you want to go?
I talking about surprises.
This is surprises. I got a lot of surprises, so I'll let you go.
I do too. I got a few. You'll probably agree with me, Wayne. Chris too. I'm surprised at the Timberwolves not being a top 10 team. Well, being 10 right now.
Wouldn't that be a disappointment?
I mean, it could go both ways.
Yeah. I don't think he was too high on them, so I don't think they could really disappoint.
I was expecting them to be at least a top 6, 17 by now. I figured they would get out to a good start. But yeah, that surprised me with, how they're playing. I know Karl Anthony Towns been hurt for a few games. I think he's playing now though, if I'm not mistaken. I'm also surprised at, the Lakers playing so terrible. Lonnie Walker is the best player for the Lakers, even though he's hurt. He's been playing the best basketball. Surprised that the Jazz are undefeated. I'm surprised that the Bucks are almost undefeated. They lost to the Hawks a couple nights ago. I'm surprised that they got off to such a hot start. I'm surprised that Drew Holiday is consistently dropping buckets. Normally we're, looking at him to just be the glue to hold the team together, but he's actually producing. Obviously, Chris Middleton being out definitely helps him being more of a factor in the offense. I'm surprised that the Knicks are even right now. They're losing the teams that we expect them to lose to and beating the teams that, we expect them to beat. But they're actually playing decent basketball as a whole. Overall, those are my top, surprises so far. Yeah.
I got some surprises. So my first surprise is from a team I watched last night play. I'm really surprised with how the Kings are playing. They've been competitive in literally almost every game they played. De'Aaron Fox really surprised me. I was watching when they played the Orlando Magic, and he literally took over that fourth quarter in overtime where he would just I think he assisted or got the last 12 points to get them between the end of the game and overtime. Then he made that game-winning half-court shot. That was great. Obviously, Lauri Markkanen with the Utah Jazz looked like he's going to be the all-star. It looks like every year someone from the city that hosts goes off. The Jazz just in general are surprising. I'm also surprised, and I'm surprised, but I'm not that surprised because I believe this guy was always that good. But with how good he's playing right now, and we'll talk about it later in one of our topics, but Donovan Mitchell, of course, really surprised with how he's playing. He's like,
I'm also surprised with Donovan Mitchell's play of the Cavs record.
I'm more surprised with Donovan Mitchell's play with other people who can score offensively around him. So typically when people get around people that can, offensively hand the ball and do what they do, their numbers tend to go down, but his numbers are actually going up. And, you expect that when he's on the Jazz, when he's literally solely the offense, but he's not solely the offense on the Cavaliers. And he's putting up better numbers than when he was on the Utah Jazz. So that's usually surprising with getting less touch. Like you think with you getting less touches, being around a all-star guard like Darius Garland, you got Jared Allen, Karis LeVert gets buckets here and there as well. Like you would expect him to lower for his points to get lower, but like he's balling. Other person I am surprised and happy with what they're doing so far this season. Obviously I gotta go with Tyrese Maxey. I just think he's playing really well. It's not surprises. I'm happy with the way he's going right now. I like what he's doing. An additional surprise for me is DeJounte Murray and just DeJounte Murray. Trae Young is obviously not having the best season, but the way DeJounte Murray is able to seamlessly get in on that team and get buckets, they beat the Bucks with Giannis and no Trae Young. So that like the way he's able to make that team work, he's able to play off of a guy like Trae Young who needs the ball a lot. And he's still putting up his numbers, still assisting, still getting rebounds, still playing good on defense. Those are just my surprises for the season, and I'm very happy with. Now let's get to the disappointments. I feel like the obvious one is obviously the Lakers because you all had them finishing top 2. I don't know why you guys had that. That was crazy to me. But talk about why you guys are disappointed in the Lakers.
He kind of already.
I mean, I'm more so disappointed in the Lakers because I just feel like they just aren't playing good basketball altogether. They got Russ coming off the bench, which is not a problem.
6 minutes of the year.
My thing is he really coming off the bench if he's coming in with 8 minutes left in the first quarter? Is that really bench? Coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, by definition, obviously, but I just feel like they got all the pieces to be able to be a contender in the West. And I just say contender. The fact that they're they lost last night, right, to the Clippers.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was
The fact that they're 2-9 right now is just ridiculous. And granted, like they have been playing a tough schedule. They have been playing teams who are pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Back to back to back. At the same time, you still got what we call one of the best duos in basketball playing together. Both of them being bigs. So there's really no excuse as to why they. I mean, you would consider LeBron a forward and AD a forward.
So that's the problem, though. You just answered it, and that's why I'm disappointed. Is because you've seen when the Lakers have success. AD does not want to be the 5. The AD is the best at the 4, and right now he has to play the 5. He explained why he thinks that they need a solid 5. He wished they had JaVale or Dwight still, because he thinks he can affect the game more, being off ball defense, helping out. Like
Do what Giannis does.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm disappointed is. Rob, I'm more disappointed in Pelinka.
But wait. You guys knew this going into the season, though.
But I believe that LeBron, like that, that's just me being a fan.
So are you disappointed in LeBron's play?
No, I'm just disappointed in the Lakers altogether. Like, because even though AD may not want to play the 5, but at the end of the day, like you're still all-star, superstar caliber. LeBron being a point forward, them being able to run the offense through LeBron, AD being able to spread the floor. If you don't have shooters around you, they can focus the offense to a point where AD is, pulling the big man out the paint.
He can't shoot though.
AD can shoot. He's not.
AD cannot shoot.
He's not. He's not a shooter. AD can shoot.
He can't shoot. He hasn't been able to shoot since he got to the Lakers. Besides the bubble year, the bubble year is the only year when he was actually shooting and making mid-range shots, making.
But again, that's because he's put at the 5. You don't really spread the floor.
He wasn't at the 5 last year.
He ain't started the 5 last year.
Nope.
Who's starting? Dwight.
And then they had Marc Gasol starting at the beginning of the season, and then they had Dwight as well. He wasn't starting. I know that for a fact. He wasn't starting at the 5.
I feel like they was designing.
He was shooting. He was shooting, but he was booking that shit.
Let me see. Let me go.
When you look at the numbers, I'm telling you, AD cannot shoot. That's the reason why. That's one of the downfall of the Lakers is AD was supposed to be a shooter, right? And the downfall of the Lakers is the way the team is supposed to work out is right now Bron shouldn't have to be the best player, and right now Bron having to be the best player, having to play playoff Bron for them to win games is absolutely atrocious. The worst thing the Lakers did was trade for Russell Westbrook, and it would have worked out if they would have let the offense run through Russ. But they didn't let the offense run through Russ because, as you can see, the only time the Lakers as a team is positive is whenever Russ is on the court. People thought Russ was a problem. Russ, yeah, he can't shoot, he can't do this and that. But if you run the offense through Russ, the offense will run a lot better. He'll be more effective, which is proven since he's been a 6-man because he comes and runs the offense, and the Lakers always go on some type of run when he comes in the game. It always happens. Bron not being able to shoot, and I'll skip over the next. Before I get to my disappointments.
35%. That's terrible.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like terrible. Let me just shout out my disappointments before I continue on this Lakers thing. So, biggest disappointment to me is Jabari Smith Jr. Like, you were number 3 slated to possibly on draft night, talking about him being number 1 pick, and he's looked like dog shit doo-doo. He's been terrible. I've watched him. I mean, yeah, his shots are not falling, but even in the summer league, he didn't look good, and he's continuing not looking good. Johnny Davis, just a disappointment because he just got drafted as a lottery pick, and he's now in the G League or wherever he's at and not playing on the Wizards floor.
Yeah, that guy is such a disappointment.
The Timberwolves in general, I was wrong about them. I thought they were going to be a lot better. D'Angelo Russell fucking stinks. He's terrible. Yesterday, he didn't get on the court. He didn't know he was going to be in, and they were on 4 and 5 on defense because he was sitting on the bench. I don't know how that's a bad coaching thing, too, to me, because how the coach don't notice that D'Angelo Russell is still sitting on the bench. Who else has been disappointed in me? Oh man, it's a lot of disappointments. Bam, not defensively, but offensively, Bam has been disappointing to me. We said we need him to be more aggressive via offense, score more on the offensive end, and he just hasn't done that still to start the season. And then lastly, Kawhi just not playing. But let's stick to the Lakers. So my question is, should Bron and AD request a trade, or should the Lakers look to trade either one of them and start over?
I think the Lakers need to try to rehash the trade they had before the season for Russ. Buddy Hield, Miles Turner.
What does that make you? Where does that get the Lakers? I don't make the Lakers a championship team, though.
And you get another 5. You get a 5.
Mm-hmm.
And you get a bucket and Buddy. And they need offense. Isn't that's what's hurting them right now, right? Their offense.
Yeah, and then he's shooting.
Buddy's definitely a shooter.
He is a shooter.
And Miles Turner is capable.
Yeah, he can shoot. He just had a big game. But I also watched Miles Turner play against the Brooklyn Nets, and they had to take him off because he was getting cooked. But I guess if you have AD to help.
AD and you got LeBron.
Well, look, we're not having LeBron for defensive purposes. So.
But still, you still have a LeBron James on your team.
You've been having a LeBron James on the team, and they've been
not Lance Stevenson.
I mean, that is. I think he can be helpful, but I just don't think like that makes the Lakers a championship team. So to me, they're trading Russ and future assets.
So you're trading LeBron or AD makes you a championship team?
Nothing makes you a championship team now. You need to start over.
But they're not going to do that.
And then they're to the fault. They're always going to suck.
They need to get rid of Rob Pelinka. That's the problem.
I hear a lot of people say they need to get rid of Rob Pelinka. What is getting rid of Rob Pelinka do? Because you're still going to have the same issues. And you're going to have to trade either AD or Braun to make the Lakers any type of relevant again.
I don't believe that. I don't believe you trade AD or LeBron.
What you said, Swoop?
I would say you get rid of AD. It's just what his trade value would be. Because he hasn't been playing the best. And if he doesn't want to play the 5, that also hurts his trade value. His injuries. It just depends on what you could get for AD. But I would try to replace him to try and get some shooters, to try to get some defensive players who can shoot. You know what I mean? I would look into trading. I think I said this before with the Mavs. Some players from the Mavs, some valuable pieces with them. The Mavs also could use a big man.
Who you trade for? We get Christian Wood, Dorian Finney-Smith.
Maybe a Spencer Dinwiddie. He's still coming off the bench.
Spencer Dinwiddie?
Yeah.
So what do you do with Russ? And then you trade for Buddy Hield and them?
See, I think I would keep Russ because you can just hope that you can get what the old Russ used to be. You know what I mean? Like we've seen what Russ can do even this year. Him coming off the bench, him dropping 20, 22 points a game. It's kind of all you need from Russell Westbrook, especially if LeBron's kind of taking a back seat, trying not to be the guy. Well, we know he can be the guy. If you put players around him who can make a shot here and there, because that's literally what their 2020 team was. People who can rebound and make, play defense and make shots from time to time. We see LeBron being able to average 30.
Yeah, but you also had AD who went ballistic. So I don't think LeBron and Russ can win a championship together. Well, just them two. I just don't think it's possible because, and then the Lakers, that doesn't set the Lakers up to be good in the future. Because, like I said, the plan was for LeBron to not be that. And for AD, the plan was for AD and Giannis to be competing for the best players in the league. And that's not what's happening right now.
If you can, if Luka could carry that team to the playoffs,
they're not trying to. If Bron can't, and I was going to say, Bron has to win another championship. The one thing Bron can't do, Bron cannot let Steph Curry win another championship before him. Bron can't let Steph Curry have more chips in him before he retires. Bron cannot have that because if that happens, Bron can never be in the GOAT conversation.
I digress, bro. You can't say that.
What you mean I can't say that? I'm one of the guys that say Bron is the GOAT. If Steph Curry ends his career and LeBron ends their career and Steph Curry has more rings than Bron cannot be in a GOAT conversation. Now, hear me clearly. I'm not saying Steph Curry is better than him. I'm just saying that eliminates Bron from saying he's the best player of all time because someone, while you were playing, won more championships than you. Therefore, you cannot be the greatest player of all time. You could be the second greatest.
You can't really say that because, like I said, Steph Curry, without an injury, Steph Curry might have one more ring.
We can't. That context doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he has more.
We know for a fact. We almost know for a fact that if LeBron had help in those series in which he was the only player, bro, he will have way more chips than what he.
It doesn't matter. Bron stacked. Wait. Bron stacked the deck multiple times. Went to two different teams stacked the deck, and then he had opportunities to win rings. He should never lost to the Mavericks, right? Technically, a lot of people think he should never lost that first series, even when Kyrie got hurt to the Warriors because he was up 2-1 going away. Like if Steph retires with more rings than Bron cannot say he's better than Steph. There's no contention that him and Steph are. It's not, to me, it's not close. But as far as him being better than Jordan, he can't do that because the GOATs like Jordan and Kareem don't have anybody during their time win more rings than them.
That's a skewed stat, Dwayne, because again, LeBron has been to 10 straight finals, bro, and you cannot discredit that. And we know hypothetically speaking, if he would have had who he started the season with, bro, in a lot of those series, he definitely would have at least.
It's only one time you can say that. The other times he was going to lose. He was never going to beat the Warriors, Steph and KD.
So are we going to discredit the first year he made it to the finals and with that weak Cavs team and lost to a Hall of Fame Spurs squad?
I mean, he still lost. There's nothing to discredit.
I understand. I'm saying, but the fact that
the team was better than him. That's okay.
Exactly, and like you said, like you can't.
That's the only instance where. That's the only instance where I believe Bron, besides the KD years, that and the KD years are the only instances where I think Bron should have lost. But every other time, Bron shouldn't have lost.
But Bron also is the only player in NBA history to come back down, 3-1 or 3-0?
It doesn't matter. If somebody during your playing time won more than you did while you were playing. That was against
the 70, 1 in 12 or 72,
73 and
73 and 9 Golden State Warriors.
That doesn't matter though. Like it really doesn't matter.
It does kind of
matter. It doesn't. If Steph Curry ends up with more rings than Bron, that does not mean anything because he won more than you when you're supposed to be the greatest player of all time. So you can no longer be in those conversations.
He's also played with 3 Hall of Famers.
It doesn't matter. So Bron did too.
That doesn't matter.
So did Bron. Bron played with, and it's in that time. Bron played with 3. Bron played with D Wade.
1 Hall of Famer, bro. 1.
No, he played with technically on that team because I hate when we say Hall of Fame because it's so easy to get Hall of Fame because they start.
I'm talking about people. I'm not talking about none. I'm talking about he played with D Wade.
Bron played with D Wade, Ray Allen, and Bosh probably will make a Hall of Fame.
I'm talking about Ray Allen, but he played with D Wade and AD. Those are 2 top 75 players in NBA history.
Ray Allen is top 75 as well.
Yeah, but Ray Allen was old and coming off the bench. I mean,
I'm just saying.
They're just going to hurt Bron.
75, then you got. Ray
Allen was
but
Ray Allen was. I mean, Ray Allen didn't help.
Ray Allen was a Hall of Famer before he got to the Heat, bro. He was a Hall of Famer before he got to the Heat.
And Ray Allen still is getting.
I'm not doing Hall of Famers. I'm just saying top 75 because anybody can make the Hall of Fame. To me, the top 75 was more credible. 75. Yeah, but I'm just saying he was like, and he didn't have like prime Ray Allen or Boston Ray Allen. He had Ray Allen.
Still prime Ray Allen.
Yeah, his shot, but he was like reduced to Kyle. He was reduced to Kyle Kovarov at that point. You know, like
again, my only point to that is, bro, being the 10 straight finals and losing to literally Hall of Fame teams, bro, or top 75.
It doesn't matter.
How does it not matter?
In that conversation, in this conversation, and every other conversation, it matters when Steph has less than you, but when Steph has more than you, because right now that means Steph's gonna win 2 chips. He won 3 chips without KD. If he wins another one, you could have been there to stop that, and you weren't.
I don't see them winning it again. I don't see them winning it this year.
I mean, yeah, they've been disappointed. They're one of the disappointing teams.
Steph has been playing with the same team, bro, and has been building with that same team. Who
I
will
agree,
eventually
DL.
go
But
down
when
in the
we go
top,
and look back at
whatever.
history, what's gonna
But
matter
it's
is
just,
Steph won more
but to
rings
that point
than
is, bro.
Braun during
But we're gonna sit
Braun's
up here and
time.
act like if you're talking about rings, we're gonna sit up like I said, we're gonna sit up here and act like look, Jordan's career was only 6 years, bro, and that's crazy to me. Like, come
I
on now, is
understand
that
that.
what we're
He still,
comparing it
but
to?
he was still great more than those 6 years. So like,
It's years that he didn't even make. He didn't make the finals. He didn't make the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? He was bounced first round. Like,
I
are we
agree.
just
I
gonna
agree. I agree. Those are all before his prime.
Oh man.
Longevity, Braun will always have it. But I'm saying if somebody has won more championships than you, there's no way you can be within the GOAT conversation.
I mean,
I said there's no way. That's it.
All right, let's get to the next topic we got.
Stop trying, bro.
I'm not trying. I'm a Braun fan. Braun is my guy. Like I think Braun is a GOAT. That's why I need him to win another championship.
Well,
but it gets real easy to discredit Braun if for being in the GOAT conversation. If somebody while he played won 2 MVPs back to back unanimously, and then also won more rings than him in less time than Braun played.
Just easy. That team, bro.
I know it. And like, is that team that? But we don't say that about Magic. We just say Magic got 5 rings. We don't say that about Jordan. We say Jordan got 6 rings. And what they gonna say? Steph got 5 rings. Braun got 4. And Steph played during Braun time. They always say Jordan made people not win rings. People didn't win rings on Jordan watch, but they didn't win more than rings than Jordan did. Nobody even won half the rings Jordan did during his time. Braun got somebody that's tied with him in rings. I know it's crazy because 2 of those times, Braun was just he had no chance, right? But the one chance he did, he should have beat him. What should have happened was Braun should have been 2-0 versus Steph Curry, making him have to go get KD, and then it doesn't look that bad on Braun. But the fact that he won one on Braun without KD holds high weight. Then he won one without KD, which holds another weight. And if he wins another one,
I don't know. I get why that would be an argument, bro. Just like that's just crazy, bro. You got literally a team that he's been playing with his whole career, bro, and we know that those players are going to be some of the top players in NBA history, and we're just going to hold that against him because he got a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 more rings than Braun, and that's wild.
You talking about MJ or you talking about Steph?
I'm talking about Steph and LeBron.
Well, no one's gonna say Steph is ever better than LeBron. That's not the conversation I'm trying to have.
I know you're talking about the Jordan. You talking about
Jordan
the Jordan Braun because obviously who did what in whose era. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What LeBron allowed and what Jordan allowed. So
yeah, that's basically what the conversation comes down to because they're such great talents. Let's go to the next segment though. My next segment is I kind of hinted toward this about Donovan Mitchell being my surprise. Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 88-3. They did lose to the Kings last night, but Donovan Mitchell is averaging right now around 31 points on the year. And more than half of the games that they played, they didn't have Darius Garland. And Donovan Mitchell not only beat the Celtics twice, but in overtime. He's beaten some good teams. I just want to know, do you guys think, because to me right now, personally, I think the MVP is Giannis, D-Mitch, then Luka. That is my MVP ladder as of today. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you think if the Cavs keep it up and Donovan Mitchell keep up this performance, can they win MVP? Can he win MVP?
You don't have Ja in that?
No, I don't have Ja in there because he's missed some games. Donovan Mitchell missed 1 game, but I think Ja missed 2 or 3.
I mean, my MVP selection before the season start was Luka, but I do believe that if they continue this play and he ends up being a top 2 or 3 seed in the East, he will be in the conversation regardless to be a possible MVP. But I will say this: if he ends up being the 1 seed and they have one of the best records out in the whole NBA, then he probably will win it. So as long as he keeps up the play, that's all that really matters, and you win games.
Smoke.
I think it's gonna be close. I think I had Giannis finishing first for MVP. along with Luka up there, Jason Tatum up there. Tatum's averaging 31 as well. I think the different, if they both averaging the same, Donovan between him and Donovan Mitchell. If it comes down to it between those two, if those are the front runners, it will definitely depend on the records and what they do. Because I know the MVP voting comes out midway through playoffs, maybe first round, I think. So it just have to depend on, their seeding, what they're doing in the playoffs. But I can, that's not a far-fetched statement to see Donovan Mitchell up there. To your point about him still being able to produce with that team, having playmakers around him as well. I think that is definitely wild to see. You would think somebody who doesn't have to take on such a heavy role, their points would decrease. But the fact that he's playing better from the aspect of being able to still put up points and win games definitely plays a role in, how valuable he is as a player. We actually being able to see Donovan Mitchell as a shooting guard. Like, I think in Utah, he had more of a point guard role, which kind of lessened his value. I'm not gonna say lessen his value, but in comparison to what he's doing in Cleveland, it's definitely a big difference because he doesn't have to have the ball in his hands all the time. He can play off the ball, play ISO basketball. So I think, again, depending on what, they finish, like how they finish in the East, what they do in the playoffs first round, will definitely give him a big chance to be a front runner for MVP. But right now, I still have those picks. If I could have top 5 MVP vote, I would definitely go Giannis, Luka, JT and Luka could be interchangeable. Donovan Mitchell will be my 5, and maybe
Why is JT above Donovan Mitchell right now?
Just because I'm a Jason Tatum fan, so that's
all right. So this is bias. This is bias.
Yeah, that's just where my bias comes in.
Okay.
Again, I'm not. I think they're both playing phenomenal right now. But, they both have the pieces around them too. Like, they have pretty much the same team.
Yeah, because I would say Donovan Mitchell beat him twice head to head now. So I'm like,
Wayne,
but,
is it so far fetched that the reason why he's elevated a little bit in his play is now that he like Smoog said, he doesn't have to be the primary ball handler. He actually has a point guard in Darius Garland, and even Mobley he can dish it for being a center. So he and Mitchell is a good catch and shoot player.
Yeah. I mean that does help. That's why his efficiency is a lot better than it was previously. Like right now, from the field, he's shooting. His effective field goal percentage is 61%. He's shooting 45% from the 3-point line on 9.6 attempts a game. 31 and 9. To me, it's just more surprising because Darius Garland missed like 6 games, and then he had the ball handle, and he still was shooting it efficiently. Well, obviously, Karis LeVert and other people have been there to help out as well. But that was like the surprising thing. Like, even when he had the ball handle, he still was able to be effective in doing that. And he did it versus good teams like the Celtics, So that was the thing. He did versus the Lakers, who also have a really good defense. But yeah, I think I had the Jazz. I had the Cavs finishing top 2 in the East, and people clown me for it. I still think it's very possible that they can keep up this performance. He's shown a lot more effort on the defensive end as well, which is something I really love. So I'm enjoying Cleveland.
Oh shit! That shit just turned off by itself.
The lights just turned off.
Hey, yeah, that's a little weird. Yeah. What's going on?
Shit, my shit just turned off too.
Oh yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
I kicked my thing.
Let me even go turn the shit back going.
But yeah. But I think that I'm like with Donovan. I think he can win. I'm just happy he's able to show that he's actually the best shooting guard in the league. A lot of people should have Devin Booker in there, but I always thought Donovan Mitchell was the best one because I saw what he did in the playoffs and in the actual season too. So to me, I'm a big guy on playoffs and in the season. He's one of the best playoff performers. I think this Cavaliers team is probably going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're either going to knock off the Bucks or the Celtics, one of those teams, unless they just not on that bracket and the Bucks and Celtics play each other.
So you're talking
Go
about
ahead. Go ahead.
just to interject a little bit. Game 2, when JT and Donovan Mitchell played each other, I think Jason Tatum had a little bit more of the better game.
I'm just looking over
They lost, but yeah, I was just looking. I mean, because it was a good game. I watched the game, till it was over. They went into overtime. I think we talked about this. Jason Tatum blocked Donovan Mitchell's shot to send him in overtime. Jason Tatum had a pretty efficient game on defense, more so the offense.
Yeah, he surprised me because he was struggling in the first half, and in the second half he turned it up.
Yeah, he shot 8 for 21.
He better when Dean Wade guarded him.
When who?
Dean Wade guarded him. He better turn up.
Bro, he was being guarded by Evan Mobley that game, bro. That's kind of like,
That's why I think this team could. I think Evan Mobley could do the same things as far as Bam being able to guard interior and on the outside as well. But he's 7 foot and not 6'9". Like,
I think we can see. I can see what the Bucks, Cavs, and I know I already gave my Eastern Conference prediction rankings. I can see the Bucks, the Cavs, and the Celtics being the top three teams in the East finishing.
I think I had the 76ers up there. They're just disappointment, and then James Harden's hurt. So yeah, I agree. I think with that, those are the top 3 teams in the East. I think it's going to remain that way as well.
Yeah.
I
would like to see that.
But let's go ahead and get to the next topic is, can the Utah Jazz remain hot? They've been beating really good teams. They've been playing really good ball. Lauri Markkanen is having one hell of a year. They just came back on the Atlanta Hawks last night. Lauri Markkanen had a season high 32 points. And their coach Hardy is really bringing the best out of these boys. So my 2 questions is, can they remain hot? And are they making a mistake by not tanking as of right now?
I don't see them being like, I think, all right, I'm not trying to be disrespectful because they're doing a great job for what they have right now. I'll answer the first question first. Second question first. I do believe they should tank because, what's the point? Like, the ultimate goal is to win basketball games and win an NBA championship. But are we actually going to sit here and believe that this team is going to win an NBA championship this year?
No, absolutely not.
So that being said, their eyes should be on the future. That's the whole point of dealing Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert. You're trying to rebuild. Granted, your team is playing good. Do I think it's going to keep happening? Go back to the first question. No, I do not. It's a good surprise. It's like in football where the backup comes in. You're not prepared for these guys, and they're surprising you. And then you finally learn about these guys, and they're not doing this in the second half of the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what's going to end up happening to these guys. It's a great little story right now. They're hot, but I think it's going to not continue for much longer.
I can agree with it. It's not going to continue for much longer. But I think I said this already. Sometimes teams tend to play good when you don't have to emphasize playing through a star, and when you're just playing basketball, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, it is in the Western, but at the same time, the Western Conference isn't looking as good as we thought it was going to look.
That's a fact. Every team is struggling.
Yeah, I know for one, like I had the Jazz not even making the playoffs, and now they're in the number one spot over the team that I had in the number 1 spot, being the Lakers. I didn't have the Nuggets being in there, and the Nuggets is a top 3 team in the West. I know that was a crazy statement, and maybe I might,
that's crazy.
That.
Yeah, the Lakers again. I thought for some reason I thought Golden State was your favorite.
I had Lakers number 1. I think I had Golden State like top 4.
I just thought they were your favorite because you said they're going back to the finals.
Yeah, as far as like rankings, I think I had them top 4. Okay. But again, like I said, I don't see them finish. I don't, what I'm saying. I feel like they're, teams are going to start not necessarily figuring them out, but teams are going to get hot. They're going to actually, get going. They just got off to a hard start.
Mm-hmm.
The Jazz aren't a team that anybody sees going anywhere. I just feel like teams wasn't expecting this, wasn't prepared for it. Like it goes either way. Not having to start a playthrough can help, but eventually it's gonna catch up to them. You're not gonna have too many people to be able to step up in big moments. Somebody play through. So it goes both
What
ways.
you mean, Laurie Marketing a star right now? What?
Chill, bro. Chill. That's like Spencer Dinwiddie for the Wizards, bro.
Nah, chill, relax. Laurie was balling for the Cleveland Cavaliers, dog.
Yeah,
I don't want to
Spencer
say
Dinwiddie was balling for
balling.
the
He's playing
Wizards.
well.
They're playing good basketball where he,
It's definitely gonna catch up to him.
7 foot.
But, I mean, it's always good though to get off, to a good start because maybe they can at least secure a spot for that. For them to tank would be outrageous because I think that's kind of like messed up to the current players they have. You know what I mean? Like give them an opportunity to go and do something, make some noise.
Do you know who is?
It's not even just him. Like there are the talent, and I'm telling you right now, this draft class coming up is probably going to be one of the draft classes we talk about 10 years from now being the best draft class in NBA history. Between Scoot Henderson, you got Anthony Black, you got Victor, obviously, and then you got them Thompson twins. It's some really, really good talent in this draft pool.
You're not even talking about the most underrated one that it's going to be one and done from Villanova.
Yeah,
Cam Whitmore, that boy a baller.
Yeah, it's a bunch. Like the top 10 prospects legitimately can be stars in this league. Legitimately, this is one of the best draft classes that we're going to see. So
just remember,
maybe they just feel like they don't want to tank it all on Victor, but I do think at some point they're gonna. I think what they're actually doing right now is like trying to make everybody ball out for a little bit to build up their trade stock and make teams reach out to get them. That way they can get some draft picks and flip some things.
But at the same time, I mean, they do got like okay players, good role players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That real trade value that you could trade. Like somebody may want to reach out for Laurie because I think they could get him and make him come on their team and be like a six-man or something.
So do you think it's going to take for them to start losing for them to just go, all right, well, I should start tanking? Or do you think that they're going to pursue – because they're literally first in the Western Conference.
Are they first right now?
But they're first. They haven't lost a game yet.
No, they lost 3. Are
you sure, bro?
Yeah, I believe they're 10-3. I'm pretty sure.
I know they're first.
No, I don't think they're first anymore.
I didn't think they were undefeated either.
No, you're right. They are first. Yeah, they're first. They're 10-3 right now. They played a lot of games. They played 2 more games than most teams. 2. So yeah, they're first right now in the West, which is kind of crazy.
Oh yeah, they lost 3. They lost to the but they lost 4. They lost to the teams that they shouldn't lose to though.
Yeah, they beat all the teams they should beat. The teams they shouldn't beat.
Right. So I mean, again, do you think that they should? Because I mean, now
and then they're going to trade people, and that's what's going to make them get bad. Like Malik Beasley, I don't think he's staying on that team for long because he can be a good asset to the championship contending team. Jordan Clarkson.
I was about to say, are they building off Jordan Clarkson and Colin Sexton?
No, they're trying to build off whoever they draft, but probably going to be Laurie Marketing and whoever they draft. Wester Kessler. I don't know. I'm saying his name wrong. Wes Kessler.
Wester Kessler.
Yeah, I said his name completely wrong, and I got to look it up to make sure I say his name right.
Walker
Kessler, who's really good at blocking shots, who led the NCAA. Mike Conley's definitely going to get traded at some point. I do think Jared Vanderbilt might be traded as well. They got Ochai Agbaji, so that's somebody that they could build around a young core with Laurie Marketing, who I think is still pretty young. He's 25. You may want to get rid of him, but you still got Colin Sexton. You have come off the bench, who's 23. So I think Michael Conley, Jordan Clarkson, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt are people that probably won't be on that team and by All-Star break. And that's what's going to cause them not to be as good. So,
yeah, I can see it.
So that's what I think. My next question is, what is wrong with the Timberwolves? The Timberwolves are they're not doing it. So currently they are the 10th seed. They're 5-7, 4-6 in their last few games. They're not really competing well as a team. They came out the other day. Cat said he doesn't like that, and Edwards eats Popeyes. Pretty much ever since then, they really haven't been doing anything. And Edwards saying he can't really dunk the ball, which is, his athleticism is the best thing for him. And he can't dunk the ball because the paint is too packed and he can't get a free lane to jump. So he's just reduced to jump shots. And then D'Angelo Russell's just been very disappointing as a point guard. Only positive is that Rudy Gobert has helped their defense be good, but I also think he's a huge negative for them offensively. Mm-hmm. So what are just our thoughts on the Timberwolves right now? I had them finishing, I think, like top 3 in the West.
I mean, you kind of just gave a synopsis of of what's going on.
So do they blow it up?
I do think I would obviously Ant is the one you can't. Ant is their franchise future. Be honest with you, I know Cat will still be there. Cat, I don't see them getting rid of Cat, but I do think you try to deal D'Angelo for something. I know we probably won't get much or what you think his value could have been, but I definitely think he's trying to deal him. The only way you would absolutely deal Cat is if it was something worthwhile, like a superstar coming to the Timberwolves. But I just don't see them dealing Cat. But I do say blow it up. But Wayne and DL, I was kind of worried about them going into the season, if I'm truthful, because their biggest offseason splash was getting Rudy Gobert, which you said is a good thing for defense. But he is a crutch in the offense because where are you putting him? He's not sitting on the perimeter. He is in the paint, clogging that hole for Edwards for trying to do what he's best at. So when they gave up all that for Rudy, I wasn't really surprised that that they're struggling. I'm gonna be honest. What's the end goal? Putting Cat and Rudy on the same court at the same time in the starting lineup?
That's what's hurting them because Cat hasn't been good in the power forward role just because he's not used to playing power forward defensively. So it's not helping their team out. So he's playing Hernandez on the defensive end, which I think is affecting the offensive end as well. But to me, I agree with you, Chubbs. I think they should blow it up. Not necessarily blow it up, but I think they should trade Cat and build around Anthony Edwards. This league, Anthony Edwards, trade Cat and D'Angelo Russell, get some young pieces, and build around Ant. Because I just think this league is built around winners having great wings. And a wing and big man combo is deadly when the big man is great defensively and offensively. Cat is not that. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have a two-way offensive big, a two-way big that's great on both ends of the court, then it makes sense to get rid of the world that is huge offensively and huge defensively. I do think just D'Angelo Russell sucking, as well as they got rid of a lot of their depth. So like their bench isn't as good as it was last year, which I think was a real positive for them. But I do agree. I think that they should end this prior. And I'm overreacting. Maybe I am overreacting, but I think they should get rid of Cat, build around Anthony Edwards, and he's a great wing that I said before I believe can be the face of this league. So, Shmoop, what do you think?
I think there ain't no reason why they should be losing. I mean, at the end of the day, bro.
I mean, on paper, yeah, I agree to an extent.
But bro, you got all the pieces around you. You got young Anthony Edwards, bro. You got D'Angelo Russell, who's a good point guard. You got Karl Anthony Towns, who is a two-way player, and you got Rudy Gobert, who was a paint player. Everything else is just an excuse.
I wouldn't call Karl Anthony Towns a two-way player.
I mean, he's a big forward that can shoot.
I give you
By
that.
by default, he's a two-way.
He's terrible defensive player. He's terribly defensive.
But he has size. You know what I'm saying? Being that
Bless you, Jazz.
athletic. Wayne said, "Bless you." Being athletic and having. I'm not saying he's jumping over people, dunking the ball, but being athletic. Carl Anthony Towns is a two.
He should be able to play defense, what you're saying, but he can't.
Right, exactly. But you have Rudy Gobert for that to be the dominant defensive player. So he makes up what he lacks on defense on offense.
Well, the problem is that yes, she's making up for that in the paint, but not on the perimeter, which is where they're getting killed. They're giving up some of the most.
Yeah, he can. I know. He cannot guard the perimeter. I will say,
and that's what they have him doing right now. So that's the issue.
But again, you still have, D'Angelo Russell. You still have Anthony Edwards, and I just feel like that team as a whole is a team that should be 10th right now in the Western Conference.
Agreed.
My thing. Play basketball, bro. Stop making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Play basketball, because last year they had pretty much the same team. Obviously, they had Patrick Beverly being a defender, being a perimeter defender.
They also allowed that.
I mean, yeah.
Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Jared Vanderbilt. That was big for them.
My thing is, like, their starters are enough to not be 10th in the West, bro. Like,
Agreed.
If they were like, like, they should be at least top 6. Like, there's no reason why it should be 5 and 7 right now. And to blame it on Anthony Edwards eating Popeyes, that's outrageous to me. Like, play basketball. You know what I mean?
Is he joking or is he serious?
He was dead ass. He was so serious about it.
Right, Cat is such a toxic teammate. I could never play with him.
I just
no wonder Jimmy wants to fight him whenever he sees him.
At what point do you just stop making excuses and be like, bro, like, there's no... I feel the same way about the Lakers, bro. Like, play basketball, bro. Win games. Is that simple?
Cares he eat Popeyes, bro. Like, Cheddar just eats McDonald's every day.
So, I don't know. I think blowing it up will be just, like, crazy, because you can't win with a team like that, bro. Like, I feel like everybody wants to be the guy, and you're not going to always be the guy. Just... play basketball. Make it work. Practice.
Yeah.
Practice.
I'm done. All right, let's get to the last topic of the day, which I think is a more serious one. So the question is, are the Nets being harsh on Kyrie Irving? So we know Kyrie Irving did a post, tweet out a movie link that was deemed anti-Semitic, and he got suspended for 5 games without pay. And then on the 5th, the Nets came out and had a list of demands that Kyrie had to do in order to return to the team. So one was to apologize and condemn the movie, which a lot of people think he already did in his post. Donate $500 to anti-hate causes, sensitivity training, anti-Semitic training, meet with ADL Jewish leaders, and meet with Joe's side to demonstrate understanding. Now, the question is, and a lot of players feel that, he already lost his contract, or Nike suspended its relationship with him effective immediately and will no longer launch his new shoe, Kyrie 8. And, a lot of people have been going on. So, a lot of people some people feel like the Nets are being harsh and being out of hand. Even Braun came out and said the same thing today about Kyrie. I can read it to you guys what LeBron said. Let's pull up the tweet. So Braun said, I told you guys that I don't believe in sharing hurtful information, and I'll continue to be that way. But Kyrie apologized, and he should be able to play. That's what I think. It's that simple. Help him learn, but he should be playing. What he's asked to do to get back on the floor, I think, is excessive in my opinion. He's not the person that's being portrayed of him. Anyways, back to my rehab session. Shannon Sharp has said basically the same thing. The Cannon now came out and said the same thing. So do you guys agree that the Nets are being too harsh on Kyrie Irving?
Yeah, I agree. That's OD. It's a little OD.
I was on Twitter yesterday, and Jay Williams made a post. I don't know if y'all saw it.
I saw it.
Video. And it hit the nail on the head with everything he was saying. just as far as in comparison. And he wasn't even taking sides. He was just making a broad statement and a very good point as to how when stuff like this happens, and again, like I'm not trying to set up here and pull a race car or whatever, but when stuff like this happens, you tend to see like a different dynamic into how it's handled. Ain't nobody, he was saying like, there ain't nobody asked, Brett Favre to go and do all of the stuff that they asked Kyrie Irving to do. And it's just to the point where they're trying to make an example and keep their power.
And honestly, they're proving, in my opinion, not to cut you off, they're kind of like proving the point of what people always say about like the Jewish community, about them being rich and being in power and making all these moves. Like they're kind of literally doing what people and what they would consider anti-Semitic. The statements that people make, they're literally like doing that and proving the point. But continue.
Yeah. He was saying, like you said, that people are trying to just make sure that their narrative or, they keep their agenda of having power, being in control. And that's literally what I feel like he had a point that's what they're trying to do to Kyrie Irving, showing that no matter what you do, especially in this situation, you're wrong, and we're going to make an example out of you. Basically, this is what you have to do in order to get back to play basketball. He was saying like, if the Brooklyn Nets just didn't want him on his team, just say that, you know what I'm saying? And don't make him do all this extra stuff. And in my opinion, like branching it off from what he was saying, like, again, Kyrie Irving, and I'm not trying to agree or disagree with what he was saying. He just went about it wrong, but I don't think the intentions behind what he was trying to reveal were bad. You know what I'm saying? Like they said like he's just trying to explore his heritage. It's some parts of the video in which, he highlighted. Obviously the video itself wasn't, ideal. But again, like, why aren't we?
Y'all think he watched that movie?
Probably not.
Probably. I don't know.
I don't think he watched the movie.
No,
I think he saw it. Would. I think he started watching it and he's like, oh, there's some good stuff in it. And then tweeted it out. And then it was like, all right, probably didn't finish the movie. I don't think he got to the Hitler parts or any of that thing. I don't think he got to that. Even though, Kyrie is susceptible to that because he's said some crazy things in the past.
Yeah. That's why I would put it past him. I don't think his intentions were ill.
Me either.
But again, like, I disagree with what he was like. What Jay Williams was saying. Like, hold everybody accountable. You know what I mean? Don't try to sit up here and make an example out of somebody. I think particularly because of the color of his skin, like that. That's just wild to me. It's people who've done so much worse, blackface.
They did the same thing to Deshaun Jackson.
So I'm glad you said one of the biggest guys on the talk show radio, Jewish guy, Howard Stern, did blackface, didn't get in trouble for anything.
Didn't have to.
But he has something to say about Kyrie.
Sarah
Silverman did the same thing too. Which
it's just like have the same energy. That's all. Don't. It just because that's what they. And I ain't trying to get all going back to old times. But that's literally what they used to do back in the old times. You know what I'm saying? Make an example out of somebody. Let him be your example. This is what happens when you double cross us. So when you say something that we don't like, just to remind you who's in control, who has the power, and it's crazy. And even I know I saw that comment you made about like, why is the Jewish basketball player all of a sudden?
That was crazy to me, bro. That was so crazy to me, bro.
But like, that's not the first time I've seen that though. But not in NBA. It's the first time I've seen it in NBA.
That's the first time I've seen anything about a Jewish player.
I've seen it.
Like, even if there has been Jewish players, that was the first time like I seen that on my timeline. Like, why is it such a big deal now? You know what I mean? Like,
that was crazy to me, bro. I was like, yo, what are they doing right now?
It's a whole what's it called nowadays with this whole cancel culture shit.
That was just crazy to me. I was like, bro, ain't no way there. I was like, yo, cut it out. Like, cut it out, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I think we all agree that being a little
I never
excessive
played. It's crazy.
with Kyrie Irving, man. But before we go, let's go ahead and do our NFL picks for the week. So we're gonna skip the Thursday game already because it's happening. I don't know who you guys picked. I put my pick in already, and my pick is losing. So
My
I had
pick
the
is
Falcons.
losing as well. I had the Falcons.
I don't think I picked.
Oh, that sucks for you. It don't
I
count.
ain't picking the last couple weeks, so
no,
I be forgetting.
I picked this week.
All right, next matchup we have the Seahawks versus the Buccaneers.
I think the Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks as well.
I got the Bucks.
Vikings versus the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going the Vikings since Josh Allen might not be playing.
I had the Vikings either way. Don't matter.
Oh, the Vikings 7-1?
Yes,
sir.
Jesus.
Their defense is rocking.
I got the Bills.
Behind Zadarius Trader Smith.
He didn't trade you guys. He didn't sign the contract yet. Lions versus the Bears.
Bears.
I had the Bears as well. Broncos country versus Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans.
I got Titans too. Jaguars versus the Chiefs.
That's unanimous.
I got the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs.
Dolphins versus the Browns. Got the Dolphins.
I got the Dolphins.
I got the Browns, man.
I knew it. I knew it was coming, bro.
I think Tua takes his first real L this week, man. I think the Dolphins take their first real L with Tua, man.
Texans versus the Giants. I got the Giants.
Giants.
Steelers versus the Saints. I got the Steelers.
Saints.
DJ Watt back. Colts versus the Raiders. I got the Colts.
I got the Raiders, man. I got the Raiders,
Colts.
man. I got a lot.
They just lost. They were just up 20-0 and lost a game. I'm never picking them. Dallas Cowboys versus the Packers. I got the Cowboys.
I got the Cowboys.
Cardinals versus the Rams.
I got the Cardinals, unfortunately.
Rams.
You got the Rams. Chargers versus the 49ers.
I got the 49ers.
Same.
I got the 49ers as well. And then Commanders versus the Eagles. I got the Commanders.
Time Monday.
I got the Eagles also.
Although I should pick Heineke.
I'm dead. Shut up. All right, man. We got one last little segment to keep it short segment and just real one question. You had to build a team with one of these players. Are you doing it with Poole, Maxey, or Bain?
I'm gonna throw a curveball that people probably would not expect. I'm gonna say Bain.
I like that. I was gonna say Bain too. My second option would be Maxey. Jordan Poole's definitely the third.
Yeah, Jordan Poole was my third. I got
Jordan Poole's my third as well.
It goes Maxey, Bain, Poole. So, I'm huge on defense. Both of those guys play defense. If your name is not Luka, then if you don't play defense, then I'm not picking you.
I just think Bain is the better shooter out of Maxey.
Yeah, he's the best shooter. He play defense. I just don't think he can dribble the ball as well as Maxey.
I don't even do that. I'll get a point guard.
I'm dead, man. But all right, man. That was the end of this episode, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on Instagram at House Divided Sports Pod, TikTok, House Divided Sports Pod as well. HD Sports Pod on Twitter, House Divided Sports Podcast on YouTube. And if you're on any of the audio platforms, if you're not, House Divided Sports, go download the episode. And if you're on audio, go ahead and hit up the YouTube, hit that like button, hit that comment button. I got some fire thumbnails, man. I found somebody to do our YouTube thumbnails, so it's going to be this thumbnail for this episode is going to look pretty fire, man. So we're getting a little professional around here. We got somebody to do our thumbnails now. I just need to find a video editor, so I got to do this shit no more. Find somebody else. Now we can just record and then mark it.
Thanks, man.
All right, man. Until next time, my name is Wayne Chubb Smug. Anything I want to say to the people, man?
Nah, I don't got nothing today.
Patriots to the Super Bowl.
Y'all ass.
Ravens flock, let's fly. Justin Tucker, hilarious. Racks on racks, smoking on that Saints back.
Saints back.